Hello everybody. You know, I don't multitask very well. I multitask very badly. One day I was in the kitchen and I was multitasking very badly. I love playing games with my family, but I'm not very good at suddenly changing my brain and swapping my mind to what I've got to do in the kitchen and suddenly having a good laugh. So my daughter was very young and she popped into the kitchen and she said, "Mummy, choose between magenta, sunshine, coral or mint mist." I have to get it right, so I'm looking at my notes. She had one of these in her hand. I used to call them Glickblurgers when I was a kid, but I think they call them chatterboxes now. So she's wanting me to choose one of these colours, and I'm like, "Not now, Sarah, I'm busy." "Mummy, please choose a number." So I had to choose a number. So I chose the number. She went like this, opened it up. "Hop on one leg," she said. I'm stirring a pot. I'm like, "Sarah, I haven't got time to stop and hop on one leg." But she wanted me to hop on one leg. So, not out of fun, but dutifully, I put the pot down, put the spoon down, and started hopping on one leg. I thought she'd be satisfied, but no. She smiled a little bit, happy that I hopped, but this thing was out again. This time she was calling out numbers that were really high. Let me just check what they were. 1, 7, 22 or 300. I thought, right, great. Last time when I picked number 6, she went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I thought, if I pick 300, it will be ages before she gets to 300 and I'll be able to carry on cooking. Well, kids are cleverer than their parents a lot of the times. They're a lot shrewder at least. She counted in hundreds and was done in 3. 100, 200, 300. So she flipped up her paper and underneath the flap it said, "Laugh like a marmoset." Now I had seen her doing impressions of a marmoset and it was quite funny. But at that moment, I certainly did not want to be stood in the middle of our very small kitchen, shrieking to the top of my voice. And you have to close your eyes. You've got to do it properly. It's a kind of... So I said, "Sarah, I've had enough. I've had enough of this. Just get out of the kitchen." I was thinking about the fact that the wet washing was still in the basket, not on the line. And by this time, it was getting very overcast. I was thinking about things I had to do elsewhere. And I really just didn't want to play chatterboxes. So Sarah hung her head, took her little gadget with her, went into the living room and shut the kitchen door. But you know how it is as a parent, when you get that pang of guilt, you suddenly realise instantly that was the wrong thing to do. You made the wrong decision. And I thought, one day, very soon, this young child of mine, this chatterbox maker, one day is not going to be making chatterboxes. She's not going to be wanting me to remind anybody, whether publicly or in her own home, that she even played with chatterboxes. She is not going to be coming up to me asking me to choose numbers and to do various acts. She's going to be wanting to be out with boys, she's going to be wanting to be out with her friends, she's going to be wanting to maybe even move away to college and uni, or even get married and move abroad. And I am going to be sat there in my house wishing that my daughter had a chatterbox in her hand, wishing that my daughter was asking me to choose a number, and wishing that she was stood in front of me in delight as I made animal noises to suit her requests. I remembered the time when she was born. It seemed like only yesterday. I remember when she was laid on my chest and she just took one look at me and then closed her eyes because she was quite a sleepy baby. I remember all those times You do too, don't you, if you're a parent? Those times go by so fast. So I turned the fire off under the pot, walked into the living room, looked at Sarah straight in the eye, closed my eyes, opened my mouth and let out the loudest you have ever heard. Thank you for listening to the end of that story. That story is taken from my book, which is called God Loves Children. It is not particularly about how much God loves children in its entirety, but about how he uses children to speak to our hearts. I've learned so much from children. God always puts children on my mind or gives me memories of my own childhood or things that my daughter has done, and really speaks to me about how much he loves me and how much he's always been with me and just loves to bless me. If you enjoyed that story, please stay with me because there'll be another story in about a couple of days' time, or please subscribe and then you won't miss when it comes out. Have you had a time when you, as a parent, just did not have time to deal with some kind of childish antic that your child was wanting you to do, and then you realised, actually, what's more important? Great childhood memories with my child or getting something done? I mean, we've all had lockdown, we've all had to work from home. I know a lot of you have had children around you when you have had to keep working. But I'm talking about the times when you get that little pang of guilt because you suddenly realise you're not prioritising time with your family. We all do it. God is a forgiving God. He will help you get back on track because family is so important. We all know the old cliche stories about when we're on our deathbeds, we're not going to be thinking about how great a business we made of ourselves and how much money we made. We're going to be thinking about how much time we spent with our children and our family and our loved ones and our friends and people who were important, because people are more important than our success. As hard as life is and as hard as it is to keep our heads above water sometimes, it is so important to keep relationships going. And relationship battles are probably one of our biggest battles in life, aren't they? So be encouraged that God will forgive you if you ask him to, if you're struggling with some kind of guilt over not getting your priorities right. And if you've got any tips about how to cope with multitasking and entertaining your children, please leave them in the comments box, because I know many mothers and fathers and parents, grandparents out there really need some really good tips. So if you've got some tips, please share them with us in the comments box below. Until we meet again, I wish you a good day, a good week. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.